Today on the channel we take a look at my signature guitar collection. I think I may have a problem. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at my signature guitars, meaning the guitars in my collection that are artist endorsed guitars. You know, guitars that were made and marketed to represent a specific guitar player or artist. Looking at my guitar collection, I've realized recently that I've got a problem. I saw a video months ago about, you know, are signature guitars worth it? Are they overpriced? And it's kind of a divided market out there. A lot of people feel that signature guitars are not worth the money, they're overpriced, and you know, why would you want a guitar that is to somebody else's specs when you'd rather have something to your own specs, right? And sometimes people love signature guitars because they love the artist so much they want to do everything they can to be like the artist, and they live vicariously through that artist, so they buy those signature guitars, right? And that's kind of the way that I feel in some respects, but there are other people that really like a specific artist model, and they may not like the artist that much. They may not be a big fan of the artist, but they think the guitar is cool, and they're like, yeah, you know what, I think those specs are really nice. Whether or not artist models really retain value or not is kind of up in the air. I sort of feel like some of them do and some of them don't. For example, the early Steve Vai Gems are very valuable, right? The Ernie Ball Music Man Van Halen guitars are very valuable. Some of the early Petrucci models are extremely collectible. You know, the list goes on and on. I'm sure I'm missing a lot, but anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to show you my signature guitar collection, and it's kind of crazy. Feel free to blast me in the comments if you want, but this is an amalgamation or a you know, 30 years plus of me finding a guitar at a good deal or wanting a guitar because of a certain artist and finding the right price and purchasing it. So I'll give you a little bit of background information on each one. So without any favorite model first, I'm going to just kind of go through these, and here we go. Let's begin. Okay, so right out of the gate, many of you have seen this on my channel before. This is my Ernie Ball Music Man. This is around a 95, a 94, 95 model. This one is a natural finish in mint condition. I did a video for a Judgment Day lesson, and used this guitar. I've had this instrument about 13 years, 14 years. I've got a red one that I've had since 1992, 93, that has been on my channel. So my Ernie Ball Music Man Van Halen, this was definitely a good investment. I got this for just a little over $2,000. And now these things go for quite a bit of money. The market kind of varies. Just sort of depends on what someone's willing to pay for them. All right, let's take a look at the next signature model. Keep in mind, I've got a red one, and this one here is a natural. I'm just going to show the natural today because this video may be a little bit too long. Next guitar. All right, the next one on the docket is this Eric Johnson Strat. I bought this used back in around 2008, I think. This is the original Eric Johnson Strat. Got this on eBay. This is a Tritone Sunburst, which was a limited run for Wildwood guitars. I didn't get it from Wildwood. I got it from a gentleman on eBay. Used. I think I paid a little over $1,000 for this. Quite a long time ago. They made 100 of these for Wildwood, and the back of this guitar has number 72 on it. It's a really sweet guitar. Really super nice. And it's got all the original paperwork and the case candy with it. The strap came with an Eric Johnson pick. It's got the ashtray, which is kind of interesting, this ashtray cover for the bridge. And inside this bag, it also came with an autographed Eric Johnson pickguard. If I can get this out, let's see. So there's the autographed Eric Johnson pickguard. Sweet. But this is the original run of these Eric Johnson Strats. And it's beautiful. I love this guitar. Sounds killer. All right, next guitar. Okay, so what we have here is a Tommy Thayer Epiphone Les Paul. And it's in this midnight sparkle blue, or I forget what they call it. It's not midnight blue, it's electric blue, I think is what they call it. It's got a mirror pick guard, it's got the mirror truss rod cover. It's blue on the back of the guitar as well. I got this thing used from Zounds. I paid $600 for it a few years ago, maybe like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And I thought it was killer, man. I thought this might be a Epiphone Les Paul that may increase in value. And I love Kiss. You know, I'm not even against Tommy Thayer. I'm a Ace Frehley fan, but this is a really cool paint job on this guitar, and you know, so I got it. Speaking of Kiss, let's take a look at the next one. All right, so what we have here is the least expensive Paul Stanley Ibanez guitar made in China. The sparkle finish. You can get these in black as well. I put some Seymour Duncans in this, and it sounds wonderful. But this is the PS60, I think, maybe. It's whatever one is, $300. I think I paid $269 for this on eBay with free shipping. But this guitar is awesome, man. I mean, it really, really plays killer. It's got great frets, great action. The setup was easy, and these Seymour Duncans really made it come to life. So I would recommend anybody to buy this guitar. It's a great jamming guitar, very resonant, and you know, excellent. Ibanez make very nice, affordable guitars. So I would recommend this guitar. I would just do a pickup upgrade. All right, let's move on to the next. Next guitar on the list is this Ibanez. This is a Gem 7P, the 77P. And this is a premium, blue floral. I'm a huge Steve Vai fan. I had a 7 VWH that was stolen maybe 11 years ago, 13 years ago, something like that. So I wound up finding this premium model for $900 on eBay, or not eBay, but Facebook Marketplace, several years ago, right before COVID, I do believe. One thing I don't really like about this guitar, the maple neck is cool, but the blue vine on the maple is the only thing that really kind of turns me off on this guitar. But this is a fantastic guitar. I love it, and I don't ever plan on getting rid of it. But I wish this was rosewood or ebony. That would be really nice. But you know, Ibanez are always trying to shake things up and do things differently. But yeah, the Steve Vai Gem. I've got a Gem Junior that I recently got off Marketplace. Traded a parts caster for it. I've got a yellow Ibanez Gem Junior with pink pickups that I'm going to replace the tremolo on at some point, but I've got that model also. But I'm going to just include this one in the video since I have two gems, and this one's the nicest one, being the premium. Okay, next guitar. Okay, staying with the Ibanez family, here we've got the Ibanez JS 140M. I put a Fred pickup in this, and I put one of these saturator hot rails in it. So I upgraded it. It had infinity pickups in it, I believe. That was the only issue with this guitar. They were sort of microphonic at high volume, so this made all the difference in the world with these pickups. These guitars are about $700 to $800 new, I believe. Definitely worth it. These are awesome guitars. I really like the maple neck, where I'm not a fan of the maple neck on the gem, the blue gem. I think the maple looks really nice on this. Ibanez does a wonderful job with contouring the neck pocket on these guitars, and they are really super comfortable. The Satriani guitars are one of the most comfortable guitars to play that I think I've ever played in my life. They're rounded just so nice. The paint is immaculate. You know, the patented Ibanez paint schemes that they put on these guitars. The sparkle finish on this kind of is like a cross between a bass boat and a UFO. Fantastic. The tremolo on this is really nice. It stays in tune. I have absolutely no issues with this guitar. I didn't like the pickups that much that were in it stock. They were okay, but the Fred in this, I think it's a saturator. I think that's what this is. It's the Satriani Hot Rails DiMarzio that's out. So I got those used on eBay. I think I wound up spending about $110 for both pickups combined, which is a good deal. And drop them in. It's got push-pull on the tone, so you can split the humbucker on it. Really versatile guitar. Plays great, sounds great, looks great. Definitely a nice addition for a signature model. And this one doesn't stand out and just scream, hey, I'm Van Halen, or hey, I'm Steve Vai, or whatever. This is pretty nondescript. You can get away with this one on stage. Next guitar. Okay, so now this one's gonna be a little polarizing. This is a Dean Tyrant. I think Dean make the ugliest guitars in the world. Period. Sorry to offend anybody, but I just really think they do. But I'm an arch enemy fan, and I really like that band a lot. And this is a Michael Amott signature series. Obviously a blood splatter. This is definitely a decal that's been sprayed over on the guitar, and it's got the little anarchy symbol on it. I put some Black Winter pickups in this guitar. It had some Dean, the Dean Michael Amott DMs in it, I think is what it was called. They were okay, actually. They weren't bad at all. I put these Black Winters in, and the Black Winters are just super heavy, super saturated. I dig it. The fretboard, I think, is a Powell Faro fretboard. It doesn't get really dark. I wish the fretboard was a lot darker. That's the one thing I like about this guitar. It looked really ominous with a super dark fretboard. But you know, the more expensive models have nicer fretboards. But I think I paid $200 for this thing, $220. Which some are probably saying that was $220 too much. But the tuners, the neck, the frets, all the hardware on it, everything works perfectly, still works great. And the new pickups really make this thing scream. It's kind of polarizing for sure, but it's fun, man. It's fun to shred on. It's a screamer. All right, next guitar. Okay, so here's one of the prettiest Telecasters I think you'll ever lay your eyes on. That's my opinion. This is a Richie Kotzen Telecaster. These are made in Japan. It's got the Kotzen signature on it. I love the fat neck. This thing has got a super fat neck on it, man. This thing is like a baseball bat, literally. You hear that comparison all the time. It's true. This is like that. The fret inlays are gorgeous. It's got gold hardware. Not normally a fan of gold, but the gold goes so well with this flame tobacco burst. It's got not a mid boost, but this switch right here. It's not a tone knob, but when it's in the middle position, when you take it in and out of phase, it runs these in parallel with each other, which is really nice. Top of the line hardware, made in Japan. Japanese necks are probably the best necks in the world and on the planet. I've been a Richie Kotzen fan really ever since like Shrapnel days. But when he joined Poison back in '92 and he wrote the song Stand. I thought that song was awesome, and I became a Kotzen fan, and I love his soulfulness and the way that he plays. And of course, following his career, and then when Winery Dogs came out and I saw this Telecaster, I was like, I gotta get that. And I really like the features on it, the way that it played. And this is a keeper, man. This thing is such a nice guitar. But yeah, my Richie Kotzen Telecaster, another signature guitar for the books. On to the next. Okay, so this beauty is a Brendan Small Ghost Horse by Epiphone. This guitar absolutely slays. It is a beast, and I recommend this to anybody that's a Gibson or Epiphone fan that loves Explorers and that need a tremolo and nice pickups. This guitar has burstbucker pickups in it, so real Gibson burstbuckers. It's got a Floyd Rose 1000. You can split the pickups so they tap. They're 4 conductors, regular 3-way switch. It's got binding on the neck. It's got a locking nut, Grover, small little Grover kidney bean tuners. The guitar is phenomenal. I think I gave like 450 bucks for this. 400 at a pawn shop, but you can get these things around 550, 599 used, I believe. This is one of the best kept secrets and nicest guitars out for the money in this style. It's stellar, and the top is gorgeous. The color is beautiful. I cannot say enough about this guitar, and it stays in tune absolutely wonderful. When we look on the back of it, the neck is also a set neck. It looks like a neck through, but that's like a set neck, and it's you know, they thought of everything with this guitar. This is a awesome signature guitar that fits everything. It checks all the boxes for me. The only thing I don't like about Explorers, they're just so big. It's hard to take them to gigs. I do believe this comes with a gig bag. Mine came with a gig case, like a soft square case. So they're hard to find for Explorers, but if you can get a case with it, bonus. I like this inlay here. Kind of a deathlock thing going on. All right, Brendan Small, Ghost Horse. On to the next. Okay, this purple sparkly beast is a Kirk Hammett Epiphone Flying V that was released in 2023. It's got some Gibson pickups, got this harmonica bridge. Wonderful frets, inlays, tuners. Fantastic paint job. They made these in black, and they also made them in the purple, and they come with a hard shell case. If you can find these at a good price, I would. I wound up getting a dealer price on this, not because I'm a dealer, but I've got some connections in the music industry, so I was able to get this thing pretty affordable, but they're worth the money. If you're a Metallica fan, I'd say go for it, but the finish on this guitar is tremendous. It sounds great. It played awesome out of the box. I love Metallica. They get a lot of grief from everybody, but I love Metallica. Not a fan of Saint Anger, okay? I will admit. I think Death Magnetic is mastered a little too hot. I can't really listen to it. It hurts my ears. I can listen to Load and Reload. There's some good tunes off of those albums. Didn't really care for a lot of it at first, but it's grown on me a lot over the years. And I love 72 Seasons. I think that's a great record. But of course, classic Metallica. Can't beat it. All right, next one. Okay, I'm going to cheat on these next two because these are actually Chinese knockoffs, which, you know, I don't promote buying a Chinese knockoff guitar, but as a fan and for the channel, I just reviewed them and wanted to check them out. So I got this Kirk Hammett fake ESP for 200 bucks, something like that, 250, 220. And it's really nice. The pickups absolutely were trash in this guitar. So what I did is I took the pickups out. I should have done a video. I took the pickups out and I had to cut the tops of the pickups off of the junk pickups so I could get the waxed pickups. They were inside these plastic casings. You couldn't take the covers off them, so I had to cut the tops off of them and then put humbuckers in there and then you know, hot glue gun the tops on those pickups so I could retain the Ouija board appearance, which that was kind of tricky, but put these pickups in a vise and took a little saw and cut around the edge. I really should have filmed that. I regret not doing it. That would have been a fun video. But I'm going to replace the pickups in this guitar again. I put Gibson or Epiphone Pro Buckers in it because that's all I had at the time, and I really don't like the way the Pro Buckers sound in this guitar. So I'm going to find some Duncans eventually. Deal on some Duncans and put some Duncans in this one. I do that, I'll film the video. But my Kirk Hammett Ouija Chinese knockoff. It's a fun guitar. All right, many of you have seen this on the channel. This is my fake Greenie. Back when the Greenie phase was huge and hot and heavy, everybody was freaking out over the $20,000 Greenies. I bought this fake Greenie on eBay for 235 bucks and it blew up on my channel. Everybody was curious about it. Most people wanted to know where I got it on eBay. Since then, that seller has stopped selling them, but I think you can get them on AliExpress or one of those Chinese companies online pretty easily. But this is a great guitar. I wound up getting TN Tones is a company that I'm friends with the guy that runs the place, and he made these pickups. He wound them just like the Greenie Buckers. He wound them, well, he didn't wind them like the Greenie pickups, because the Greenie pickups weren't out yet when he made them for me, but he made some out-of-phase pickups to spec of the old Gibson pickups. So these are actually out of phase, so in the middle position, it's got the Peter Green thing going on. I put these covers on them. They're a little bit, the poles are a little bit off-centered, but it still sounds good. The back of it's relict. You know, it definitely looks kind of like a Gibson, but this guitar plays awesome and it sounds awesome, and it has been stable now since I bought it. And I think I've had this guitar going on a year and a half, 2 years easily. I lose track of time, but it really plays wonderful and it sounds great. So I love it. So there's my fake Kirk Hammett Peter Green Greenie. So what we have here is a Tom DeLonge Blink 182 Fender Stratocaster. This is one of the originals. This was from about 2004, 2005. I bought this at a pawn shop on eBay for $5.75, I think. It's a great guitar. This thing's got an Invader pickup. I don't play it that often just because I'm not a big fan of the Invader pickup. It's really super heavy distortion, but it does sound great. It's pretty awesome. This guitar's old. It's getting old. It's like 20 years old now, and this is kind of yellowing. It's got one little blem on the, somewhere here on the side or the back. It's got the Tom DeLonge neck plate on it. I love Blink 182. Somewhere on this guitar, it's got a little chip out of it. Anyway, not that it matters. I love it. It's cool. I love the color. It's kind of a cross between seafoam green and like a marine blue color, I guess. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're a Blink fan. I love these original ones. It's cool to say I got one of the OG Tom DeLonges. Okay, so shortly after I bought the Tom DeLonge Strat, I found this Mark Hoppus bass also on eBay. I think I paid $800 for this bass, $700 maybe, and it was around 2007 maybe when I bought this. This is the only bass that I own, and I bought it for tracking. I track all my songs with it. It's got the Mark Hoppus plate. So this is the OG Hoppus bass. You know, Mark and Tom keep it simple, one volume, simple set of pickups, made for punk rock. And I like the fact that they both are the same color. My cat in the background, my kitten, is tearing up the kitchen, as you can tell. Cool, so there's the Mark Hoppus bass. Okay, this one's sort of a strange bird. This is a Sammy Hagar Washburn. This is a RR 150, which is a Red Rocker 150. These were out for a little bit of time when Washburn endorsed Sammy. Sammy used to bring this out and do Eagles Fly. And it can go acoustic and electric. It's got two inputs, or two outputs, I should say. It's got a piezo right here, and then two humbuckers, obviously. Three-way switch. You can run acoustic and electric at the same time. So you can run this to a acoustic amp and an electric amp. You can run acoustic and electric together or separately. So you don't have to switch guitars to do acoustic or electric. This guitar plays wonderful. It sounds incredible, and it's really versatile. I think they're kind of hard to find. They're not super valuable, last I checked anyway, but they are kind of hard to find. And I really enjoy it. Plus, these early models were autographed by Sammy Hagar, which that's a real autograph. So I love that. Eagles fly, man. Okay, so obviously we're going to have an EVH Frankie in this video. This is a guitar everybody knows and loves, or should know and love. But this is the actual EVH Frankie that I've played to death. I love it to pieces. This guitar sounds phenomenal, and you know, it just brings back so much nostalgia. If you're a Van Halen fan, you almost have to have one of these. Next on my bucket list is a 5150. I gotta get a 5150. I love them. I have a bunch of Van Halen guitars that I've made with various paint schemes, and I've actually got a white EVH Frankie Relic series that I've modified that many of you have seen on the channel if you're familiar with my channel, but I'm not going to show that in this video. So it's the same guitar as this, except it's white with a full pick guard, and I've got the single coil active on it. But this is the true signature series Van Halen Frankie everybody loves. But this is the only EVH product currently that I own other than my white Frankie series. One day soon I'll do a video of my entire Van Halen collection. That would be kind of fun. I think I did one in the past, but I should do one more in depth. So yeah, EVH Frankie. Phenomenal guitar, and it sounds as good as it looks. We miss you, Ed. Last but not least is just the standard Les Paul Custom. Probably the first signature guitar of all time. You know, it's Les Paul. And I am a Les Paul owner. I own several Les Pauls. I love Les Pauls. They're my favorite guitars. I think they feel great. They sound great. I think they look cool. This is an 81 Custom. It's a Norland era. It's got the flip out tuners on it. If I can do it with one hand, let's see. There you go. Flip out tuners. Those are kind of rare. Being a Norland era, this has a maple neck. If we look at the back of it, you can see the maple neck has been worn through quite a bit. It's been used a lot. And like I said, it's an 81. It's got 498 and a 496 Gibson pickup in it, Gibson pickups. I like the fact that Norland puts some chrome hardware on their customs. Not a big fan of gold. I think gold is okay, but I really think these customs look sexy with chrome hardware, especially on the black. I love how the binding on this has aged, and it's kind of this off-white color. And this is one of my favorite Les Pauls. But yeah, so that's it. That wraps up my signature series guitars. Let's go on to final thoughts. Okay, so there you have it. That is my collection of signature series guitars. I know it's insane, and I'm sure I'm going to get blasted in the comments, but that's okay, man. It's okay. I love them all, and I bought each one over the course of the last 30 years just because I like the artist, I like the guitar, I like the way that it played, got a good deal, and being passionate about guitars and playing guitars from other artists and supporting, you know, obviously like Zoso, supporting your favorite players and really just following their careers and learning their music and embracing what they did for guitar, I think is part of the fun and enjoyment in playing guitar. It's not just about learning the instrument and getting proficient on the instrument. It's about experiencing the music and the art and the guitars. And, you know, we're not hurting anybody. We're just crazy guitar players, right? So hope you like this kind of content. If you did, please consider subscribing. It helps me out a whole lot. Comment below. And as always, have a great day. Peace out.